In this section, we're going to be working with text. We're going to create and apply paragraph styles to the entire paragraph or to an entire selection of text, and we're going to be applying character styles to single characters and words. Since we already have text boxes created, we're going to import the text and apply the existing styles. Double-click page 1 to make that the active page, and we will go to File, Place, and in our aerospace folder we are looking for the file Apollo History Doc. We would like to show the import options and deselect the replace selected item. Make sure the Preserve Styles and Formatting option are selected and the Import Styles is also selected. Choose to auto rename in both conflict menus and then click OK. Click the loaded cursor in the empty 3-column text frame. The story doesn't fit because we haven't applied the appropriate styles yet, but because this is a text frame that has autoflow applied to it, all the text will flow from one column to another. Open your Paragraph Styles panel. If it's not available, go to Window and select Styles, Paragraph Styles. Put an insertion point in the first paragraph and select the main head style in the paragraph styles. Put an insertion point in the next paragraph and select the first paragraph drop cap style. The next paragraph, which is the text from the beginning, should have the subhead style applied. Following that, the next paragraph needs first paragraph no drop, and then you're going to drag to select parts of the next 4 paragraphs, which is going to be up through mission accomplished, but not including that, and apply the body copy style to it. Continue then applying the styles to the remaining copy using those style names as shown in the book. Mission accomplished is going to be subhead, body copy, mission completed, again subhead, and body copy. With an insertion point in the last paragraph of the body copy, look at the Paragraph Styles panel. There's an override, which is a plus sign. This indicates that there is another bit of formatting other than what was defined in the style that's been applied to it. This is a local formatting override. We want to click in the Style Override highlighter button. With the insertion point in that last paragraph, click the Clear Override at the bottom. Highlight that last paragraph and change the font style to italic. Then remove the highlighting and you can save the file. Generally, a headline is going to span columns, and our headline is all crammed into the first column. We're going to have an insertion point in that first paragraph and then open up the paragraph panel. We should be able to access it here and select Span Columns. We want to span all of the columns. You can preview that. Click the up arrow once for the Space After Span field and then select OK. I'm going to double check my space after, so putting in an insertion point in the title, and I will check to see if I did indeed get a space after. No, I did not. So I'm going to make sure that goes in. That spaces that out much better. I also need to correct under mission accomplished, the first paragraph should have been first paragraph no drop cap, and same thing under mission accomplished. I need to change that to first paragraph no drop cap. Next, we're going to be adding a sidebar. We're going to pick up the type tool and click outside the bounding box so that we can draw in a text frame over the top of the text frame that already exists. And then we'll use the control panel to change the size of that text box, or the properties panel. Properties panel should work quite well. I'm going to need to change to my selection tool rather than my text tool so that I can change the position and size of the box. I'm going to use the top left reference point and make my X position 5 inches, the Y position 7, the width 3.625, and the height is going to be 2. We're going to give the text frame a fill color that is the Pantone 194C with only a 20% tint. I'm going to place the text that is Apollo Science inside that text box. Now we have some problems here because the text box is not large enough. With the text box selected, I'm going to go into my Properties panel and find my Text Frame Options, which is way at the bottom of the Properties panel. In that option box, I can select Auto Size. I want to turn on the preview and drag this over to the side so you can see what's happening. And I want my height only selected, and I'm going to choose the bottom center reference point and then OK to apply. Next, put an insertion point in the title and apply the sidebar head to that, and apply sidebar copy to the rest of the text. In your paragraph panel, you want to apply the bullet numbering to that text, and then in the options, bring up the bullets and numbering options and change the indent from first line indent needs to be changed to a negative 0.15 with the left indent 0.15. Changing to my selection tool, I need to access my text frame options, and I want to set my inset spacing to 125 and apply that to all but the right hand side. And on the right hand side, I want to change that to match the margin, which is going to be 0.625. I also want to apply text wrap. I need to open up my text wrap dialog box and choose wrap around bounding box and change the inset on that to 0.1875 to give it a little more room. And I also need to go into my text box and delete now those double numbers. Just do that individually by line. Save your file. In your Pages panel, navigate to the second page. Let's zoom out so we can see the whole page. And make sure that nothing is selected, so you might want to just grab your selection tool and click to the side to make sure you don't have something still selected from the first page, and go to File and select Place. We don't need to show import options. We aren't replacing selected item, but we are picking up the Blackbird Air Park dock and say Open. You have a loaded icon that you can then click within the margin of that page. Putting in insertion points, you're going to be formatting the paragraphs. The first paragraph uses the back head style. The second through the bottom gets the back copy. And selecting the 6 items that look like a list, we're going to click the bulleted list button in the Properties panel. We need to get to Paragraph, and in the Options button, open the dialog box. For a character, we're going to choose the small star, and in the bullet or number position section, change the first line indent to a -1/8 of an inch. So the left indent really doesn't need to be changed because we don't have 2 lines involved. You can see the preview on that if you tab and say OK to close that dialog box. And again, you will be saving your file.